leverage is risky and no leverage is no risk. And that leads to all sorts of absurdities because it depends really what's being leveraged. Leverage can sometimes be used to hedge, to actually reduce risk. And it's just absolute stupidity to not make a distinction between leverage that increases risk and leverage that reduces risk, but it is absolutely commonplace. So people have to understand leverage is not risk. Risk is a function of the underlying investment and the amount of leverage. So from an investor standpoint, the big mistake that investors make is to define risk as synonymous with volatility. However, the problem with that is it doesn't work for a lot of investments. So you can have low volatility and high risk, and that's the big mistake traders make. So you had not traders, investors. That is because there are lots of investments where the normal pattern is they'll generate steady returns until there's a problem, until there's an earthquake, let's say, in the markets, right? So you could live in Tokyo or wherever, and everything's fine. If you're not there during an earthquake, well, what's the problem, But if you're there during an earthquake, it changes and the risk changes, and that's the same thing. The trouble with a lot of investments is they're like earthquakes. The risk only happens sporadically. Now, if it's a very liquid investment, then the risk shows up routinely. But if it's a thing like credit investments, credit investments, they'll go through many, many years of being making general returns, and then there's a liquidity crisis, and they'll lose horribly.